Otherwise you just see Shakespeare. Comes from a very ordinary mediocre family. Top of the world. Abraham Lincoln, see his birth. Muhammad Paigambar was a shepherd. What has happened? Suddenly the wisdom dawn in his started. It comes from the past. A time has come. You must have seen so many persons in the life. What happens is, when the past you bring certain things, they remain in a dormant condition. And it is only at a particular spot of the life, it starts blooming. There are so many persons whose life starts at the age of 40, 25, 55, 60. Why? The reason is this. Time should come. You will find in spirituality also, somewhere the time comes, you get a particular person, a person who doesn't believe the God, start day and night meditating. Why it happens? It is in a dominant condition, it becomes. So that which is in dominant condition, not dominant condition, dormant condition, is called Agami Sanchita. And the Sanchita, otherwise, which is about to fructify, take place suddenly. This is called Prarabdha Sanchita. In case of a body, being a Prarabdha Sanchita, it cannot stop. But Agami Sanchita can be stopped by your positive action. So many persons will say, past Janma I might have made a mistake. Is it going to bother if I am good? If you behave in a good way, it may or it may not. Depending upon, it should come to nullify the effect of what you have done past. I can't describe it better than this now at this stage. Because this topic, if I take it in detail, it will take 10 days for me to go through every aspect of it, which time which I don't have. So try to understand, it should nullify the effect of that past. And this is how all things move. And therefore, this is such a law that nobody can bypass. And since nobody can bypass, you should always be aware that you should behave in a way wherein these things always help you in taking your mission to higher and noble level, wherein you are in the realm of a spiritual mind and not in the lower instinct, animal instinct or even selfish instinct. This is all the time you have to keep. So remember, this doctrine is so firm and it is applicable in every sphere of your life. You cannot avoid it. Therefore, best way is to understand it and behave accordingly. Now, after understanding all this, just try to see this you cannot avoid, because the inner instrument which does not die anytime always carries it. The life always carries with it, and therefore it goes on till ultimately the result is nullified. It is only when you realize yourself you nullify the effect. And ultimately when the person gets himself out to such an extent, when he goes to the absolute, he becomes absolute, he is completely out of it. Till then, this doctrine of cause and effect is going to take the toll of every person, come what may. Now see, in all these things, you blame the God. What God has done? You have given the might, you have given the intelligence. You have given the power to discern. You do something with the knowledge something wrong. And if you are supposed to pay, if you take money of somebody and if he demands your money, what is wrong about it? When you take, you like it. When he demands it, just see. When you want, you take it. But moment he asks, no, this attitude of yours makes all the difference, then you blame your friend, you blame that other person, and if nobody, the best person is to blame God. Where is God? How can you blame him? He is such a thing, you cannot blame him. There is nothing to blame God, because this is all your creation. God is unblemished. You want to kill it? You kill. Take the consequence of it. This doctrine is very, very important. And really speaking, if you just look now minutely from this angle, forget your this, and just try to understand. It is only for your upliftment all these things are there. Now just see. The spiritual mind comes in. you will find so many rich persons because they had a rich desire, materialistic desire, therefore they come. But they have ignored spiritual life. And you find, in order to see that they are taken towards spiritual life, in spite of the money they are not happy because of several circumstances. By that, somewhere the dawn comes. Why I am unhappy? Why this thing happens? And suddenly the person starts the nobility of his heart. Nature, spiritual man does not want to, but you are little bit put to trouble because far ahead thing within you which you will enjoy, which will spurt. You are not allowing to spurt because you are doing too much to materialistic life. To the extent you require, you must be material. But beyond which when you go beyond the circumscribed limit, the spiritual life within you creates a circumstance by which the difficulties are created. You are not in a position to enjoy whatever you have got. I like food. I am a diabetic. I can't eat it. I have got lot of money. What can I do? Like that it happens. And with that the thing changes, your attitude changes. The whole thing is God doesn't do anything, devil doesn't do anything, everything is within, nobody. But then when you understand this, something within this happens, your approach becomes different. And then you start going within to understand the things. You don't start blaming somebody A, B, C outside. And then the whole thing is you go straight in the line towards the objectivity of the spiritual life. This is called doctrine of cause and effect, along with spiritual evolution. Every person, howsoever bad he might be, howsoever good he might be, ultimately they are going to reach that level. But if you understand these things, you can go much faster, much ahead. You can reach from here to London within 8 hours by a plane. But if you take a bullet car, you will reach there. No doubt about it, you are going to reach there. But it will take years together, you will reach there. So this is the way, whether you want to live that elegant, high, noble life or not, you can decide. And therefore, certain things are very important. And what are those important things? To see that, the first thing, if you ask a yogi, how a person can behave best, what are the criteria? He will tell you, love God. Now, you see heroine loving. Now, how to love God? Because you don't know God. It's a conceptual thing, how to love God. Because to love God is so easy to say, but very difficult to practice. In area where the dacoits stay, they want to carry out the dacoity. They kill 2 animals as a sacrifice for a goddess. Is it allowed to God? Just try to understand. So many persons do in temple. Is it allowed for a God? Or whether you want to see that your son passes. Understand this. So, for love to God, when yogi says love to God, you can only love God when you understand God. I have yet to see a person loving God without understanding Him. And see 99.99 persons say that I love God without knowing what God is. How can they love God? And therefore, out of religion, Hindu hates Muslim, Muslim hates Christian, Christian hates this thing. This is, how can you love? How can a person who represents God, whether he is a Christian, whether everything is love, how can you? There are different only ways of thinking. But if you are agent of a God, God is one for all, Christian, Hindu, everything is one. How can this happen? It is because of this. They don't know what God is. God is omniscience, omnipresent, omnipotent. He is everywhere. He is in everybody. If He is in him, He is in him, He is in him, then my duty is only to love all these persons. Just try to understand, if the God is all pervaded, there is nothing which which is not under his hand. And if you Hindus hate those persons who call themselves Hindus, they hate Muslims. With suppose 40 crores people you hate, can God be God? Because God is all. 40 crores going out of God is not a God. Just try to understand. You are dishonest to yourself. How can you call your God a God when 40 crores people go? If you Christian, you only Hindus are good. Or Christians say only Christians are good. How can that God be there? You tell me. He is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. You take out something and God is not there. What you call God is not there. And therefore, the basic understanding, oneness with everybody, God is everywhere. Whether you are Christian, Parsi, Muslim, this is all your own creation. Religions have come subsequently, God is first. So don't try to arrogate religion with God. God is the beginning, God is everything. Religion is your own creations. But you may follow any religion, but moment you hate other religion, you are away from God. Therefore, you should not hate anybody. You should not be selfish. You should not be jealous of the other person. All these things, Kama, Krodha, Mada, all these things, what are Shadripus, if you exhibit in your life, how can you dare to say that God is within me? Those limitations come. Therefore, and once you understand God, your behavior should be consistent with the God element. And how is God? God is whole. God is perfect. God is strong. God is powerful. God is loving. God is harmony. God is rich. He is not poor. He always gives. He doesn't say how much you give. Rich. You should be rich. Give. God is rich. Full of youthfulness. And God is happy. Don't make your face as if you are drunken, taken castor oil. You should be happy. All these qualities when you display, then you are God, representative of God. Once you know the God, this mistake will not be committed. You cannot be selfish. You cannot try to do injustice by taking money from the other person. What is not mine, I will not take. That will be your answer. Come what may, I will behave like this. Unless you behave like this, can you say that I am loving God? That's why to love God is know God. And once you know the God, it is not knowing is thing of a being. You practice it, then it is love. Mere that, oh God, I am loving you, what is loving you? Who has asked you to love? You display that, God recognizes that. God doesn't require you to tell that, God, I am loving you. He knows. You are a dishonest, you are not loving. You must behave in such a way that the God should record loving person. He is loving me. And this sincerity is such a different thing I am telling you. A question was asked. A Christian missionary, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, that Ramakrishna ji, you see all these persons, this villagers comes, you are an illiterate person, they would take a stone, they apply some red color and they go before it. Can they get any benefit out of it? Ramakrishna ji say yes. This is how. He says, you are Christian? Yes. You believe that God is omniscience, omnipotent? Yes. Omnipresence? Yes. Now the God is there also in the stone. Now the God which is omnipresence knows that this villager is not going before the stone. He has kept stone as a replica, but he stores me. God is not a foolish person. He knows everything. Even if a pin drops, he knows it. He knows it. Only difficulty is when you put your God in limitation, you get the results in limitation. God is fathomless. He is infinity. And therefore when you go to temple, Don't look at an adol as an adol and go before it. Say that Parabrahma is represented by it. The whole totality is represented by it. Look at the totality and say he is just a symbol of it. Then you get the real vibrations by going to the temple. Otherwise you are only in the limitation. This is how you have to understand. So love thy God, number one. The second principle is be kind to each and every person. Kindness. If these two principles you follow, you will make a great stride in this birth, other birth ahead. These two principles, with understanding one thing, that whatever I do, it shall be unison with all the goods. Whatever I do, which is the highest concept, my truth, keep these things as a guideline and your life will be pleasant. You will see the light within you. Your life will be glorified. In your this life itself you will understand what is God. You will never come in trouble. The stance of your life will be always towards the nobility. The whole beauty, the whole cosmos will be created around you. You will be a picture of confidence to yourself. You will give confidence to others. There is no question of weeping, mourning. There is nothing in the life wherein you should weep and mourn. Everything you should take it at its own stance as a stepping stone towards your success, towards the God realization. With this, I conclude this topic here. Thank you.
On day, in the mother's womb, come here. That is taking the birth. It is whose prarabdha? Whether it is the prarabdha of the incoming child who is coming from the upper level, that is not upper astral level, or it is the mother's prarabdha. But it is question number one. And question number two, shall I read the same? It is different question altogether. Question number two. Lord Krishna is considered to be the greatest teacher of Adhyatma Vidya or Brahma Vidya. He has said in Gita, that is the art of breathing, Vinashaya Viprutam Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. And to achieve this goal, he has throughout his life acted like tit for tat. Now it has been stated in the main speech yesterday today that as I understood, that we have stated that if somebody does wrong or bad thing to us, we need not reply in the same time. We have to treat him with love. And in doing so, you are going nearer to the God. And if we treat him in the same fashion, we are going 10 miles away from the God. Whether this does not conflict with the teaching of the highest teacher of the Adhyatma.
You have understood the question?
Yeah.
Now the first question as regards the child. Again, apply the law, mathematical precision. Only adding one thing. I have already told you, when the person comes down, he comes down out of his own desire, but because he wants to come down. Only persons at the lower level, they don't have volition to come at one spot. He comes by gravitational force and by law of power of the directly. Persons above 5th or 6th of astral plane, they have got volition as to which mother they choose. Just try to understand. Now, there is one more law at astral level. Till you are about 1.5 years of age, till you are 1.5 years of your age in the childhood, that individual has a choice of getting back again. Just try to understand. Because he has taken, and you will find that the child has a past memory, and slowly as he starts arranging himself to surrounding circumstances, this conscious mind develops, that it blurs. And this has been now accepted by the scientists in a different way. I will just tell you that in case of animals, when the animal comes out of the mother's womb, it is a perfect animal. Calf comes out of the mother of the cow, and immediately it starts walking. For you to walk, you take long time. For you to, 3-4 years you require to take. Now, recently, 2 years back, they have pressed a gene, that is a control gene. This is the control gene, which is last gene, which is not developed in the mother's womb. You are brought to a human level, and this control gene start adjusting you to the surrounding circumstances, and therefore human being is always advanced than other animals, and he made conscious unfoldment very rapidly. Now keep this thing in mind. Now before the control gene completely completes its action, anytime earlier, and our Shastra says 1.5 years, he can say I want to go. So if the child in the mother's womb decide to go, he may go on his own volition also. One answer. Second answer. Now, because of prarabdha of the mother, something is done earlier, that she has killed somebody's child, something has happened. And now that has been taken in the soul's diary from first chamber to the astral lobe, wherein it was projected. And when she comes back, that has been again brought. It may be because of her prarabdha also. So it all depends. It may be by father's, if the father has killed something, if it is in his conscience, again it will be as per that. It will be several modifications. There are all permutations and combinations. I can't do one answer, but now you understood the principle behind it. Understood? It can be anywhere around. It can be because of the holy day. He may, because child wants to go back, he may die. Because of the mother's problem, she has done something, it may die. Father done something, it may die. One doesn't know what was. It will all depend upon the circumstances in each case. Now the second question. Yes. Yes.
Then what will the state when one will get a mukti, that he will not enter human data?
No, that is, unless and until you go to the absolute, it will go. Number one. But birth can be stopped in the sense, suppose you are on the 6th ladder. If you just decide that I want to get my health higher and higher in that way only, you will go. But moment your desire to come down, material thing comes, you come back by your volition. But once you go to the absolute, then you can come in a different way. And that is connected with the second question of yours. Now just try to understand. There is no confusion in what I said, what was stated. Just try to understand. Confusion is in understanding the things. Yesterday I have told, and today also I have reiterated, that your basic approach in the life should be on 4 principles. Whether my act is such which is unison with all the goods, is it the highest concept of my truth? Right? Secondly, what is my relation with the God? Everywhere he is there, he is in absolute knowledge about the God, his love of God, and be kind to all persons. Have I said this? Right. I have also stated that don't hate anybody. If you put your life completely on that track of hatred, jealousy, all these things, selfishness, then you will again go in the karmic force. I have stated that. Now, you have posed the question about Lord Krishna. Always remember, these persons have come from absolute. Lord Krishna, Muhammad Paigambar, or the Yeshu Christa, they have come from absolute for some purpose. Their purpose is the divine purpose. They don't do anything out of ill will, spite, hatred. Remember, his cousin, he was saying bad things from the beginning. But he had no hatred about him. He told his mother, to the extent of 100 I will do, because he was a bad person. He was to be killed. He was knowing that he was going to be killed. But he was to be killed at a particular stage. And he told her mother, in spite of that I will give you, because mother said, ask him, that please save him. He said, all right, up to 100 I will. Thereafter his prarabdha is over. Now his prarabdha is over, he was taken. There is not that out of ill will, spite, hatred Krishna has done. Krishna has not killed any person out of ill will, spite. He just did it only as a duty. When you fight out war, suppose with India and Pakistan, and you kill 10,000 soldiers, it is not ill will, spite, hatred. You are doing the duty. Just try to understand. In this, rule of prarabdha will not come. You are not killing with your volition. You, as a duty accepted, you have to do it. As a judge, I have to hang a person. I don't kill him. My duty requires to do it. I may not like hanging him, but if the law requires, I have to do it. Otherwise, I have to leave my seat So where is the conflict? One more aspect I will tell you. Even these persons, since it is on this track, I will just add something so that this karmic law you will understand. When the realized soul also comes, when the person comes from the absolute for some purpose, divine purpose, when they come, they have also to follow the karmic law. And therefore, I will like to quote two instances of Ramayana which are completely misunderstood. There are three misunderstandings, out of which two I can take care of from the point of view of karmic law. Just see. Fault of Rama is pointed out by other persons. And what is that fault? That he killed Vali from behind. If you are a Lord, why you have done it? Shameless person, why you have done it? One. Second, his treatment to Sita, when knowing full well that she was just, he threw her out. Right? Third is, about the Shambhuka, Kshudra was killed by him at the end. Again, it is completely pervert version of these politicians. I don't want to touch the topic just now. I will take the first two. And I will show you how correctly he followed the law of karma. And this position of killing Vali from behind shows the greatest valor of that person. Greatest valor. Now just see. The whole episode is like this. When Lord Rama was in Dandakaranya and he made all this Sugriva, Hanuman, and Sugriva told that no fault of mine because of misunderstanding. My brother, who is a picture of value, he has thrown me out. I will help you, Rama, to go to Lanka. But help me out of this. Rama accepted the challenge. He told him that you only do one thing. You invite him out of city because Rama has taken a vow. He will not go in the city. He has to come out. You bring him, give him challenge for fight. And the moment he comes, I will finish him off. He gives the challenge because earlier 4 challenges were given and Vali has beaten him so badly. So Vali never thought that this person will come. Vali came after the challenge, there was a fight. He was beaten very badly, Rama couldn't kill him. Sugriva said, Rama, what you have done? On your basis I have come here and now I have beaten. Rama said, please forgive me, because they were twins, brothers. They were so exact. I said, I was not knowing if I hit an arrow, I would have killed you. Now he is Lord Rama, just see, coming as a god. But still, he has come for a purpose to kill Ravan. And boon brought Brahmadeva to Ravan was Yaksha, Kindara or God. Nobody will kill you. Nobody will kill you. Because Ravana never said that human being can do anything to him. He was so powerful. Why should we bother about that? So, if Ravana is to be killed for some karmic law, person has to be human being. If God comes as a human being, he cannot use his godly powers. Moment he uses his godly power, he cannot kill Ravana. Just try to understand. So he has to be only picture of valor in a human being form. Even Yeshu Krishna himself happened the same thing in the same way. He has to be like that. With the result, divine power they cannot use it. He has to behave as an ordinary human being. Therefore, he came in this life as an ordinary human being, son of a particular king. Coming back to our story. So again he said, now you do one thing, you give him a challenge, but at the time of fight, you keep garland in your neck. So once I know that you are a person wearing the garland, other person I will kill. Now, again the challenge is given. Why he told him, this time I am going to finish you off. After this is the end of it, I am not going to say. Some or other. His wife Tara was a powerful lady. She was feeling that his death is coming and somebody is coming and she says, "Oh, you don't know, I feel that two persons who have come here are likely to kill you." He said, "What are you talking about it? Forget about it." Because he was a man of valor. In fact, he has defeated Ravana. Now the person came here, fight started. Rama took the arrow from behind, gave the blow due to which he had fallen. When he had fallen, he looked at Ram. He looked at Ram and he said, "Rama, what have you done? Why have you killed me? Have I done anything wrong to you? Why have you killed me? If you wanted to bring Ravana, what did Sugriva will do? I have brought him here before you. Why you have done this?" When he was saying so, Tara came running from the palace. She looked at Rama, and she said, "Rama, I curse you. Throughout your life you will be unhappy about your wife. You will not lead peaceful life with your wife." Rama, with a folded hand before Tara, says, "O Tara, what you have stated shall happen.